at dawn on September 2nd, 31 BC. The sea itself seemed to hold its breath. Off the western coast of Greece, near the promontory of Actium, two vast fleets faced one another across calm but ominous waters. This was not merely a battle between ships. It was the final reckoning of the Roman Republic, a struggle that would decide whether Rome remained a fractured state ruled by competing warlords or transformed into a single, absolute empire. On one side stood Octavian, the adopted son of Julius Caesar, young, calculating, and politically ruthless. He claimed to fight for Rome and its traditions. On the other stood Mark Antony, Caesar reformer, lieutenant, a brilliant general whose fate had become inseparable from Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. Their alliance was powerful, wealthy, and controversial. To money, Roman's Antony no longer seemed Roman at all. The war had been building for years. After Caesar's assassination, Rome fractured into rival factions. Octavian, Antony, and Lepidus formed the Second Triumvirate, ruling uneasily together. But power shared is power contested. Lepidus was sidelined. Antony drifted east, drawn into Cleopatra's orbit. Octavian remained in Rome, mastering propaganda and presenting himself as the defender of Roman values against Eastern Betrayal compromise was impossible. Antony and Cleopatra assembled a massive fleet and army in Greece, confident in their strength. Their ships were enormous floating fortresses with high decks, thick hulls, and towers packed with archers. Cleopatra supplied gold, crews, and ships from Egypt's vast resources. On paper, they were unstoppable. Octavian's strength lay elsewhere. His admiral, Marcus Agrippa, was a naval genius. Instead of seeking immediate battle, Agrippa strangled Antony's supply lines, capturing ports and starving the enemy fleet. Disease spread through Antony's camp. Morale faltered. Desertions increased. Cleopatra urged retreat to Egypt, where they could regroup. Antony hesitated, torn between strategy, pride, and loyalty. At last, forced by dwindling supplies, Antony chose battle. The two fleets met near Actium. Octavian's ships were smaller, faster, and better maneuvered. As the battle began, the sea erupted into chaos. Oars shattered. Ships rammed one another. Catapults hurled stones and flaming projectiles across the water. Marines boarded enemy decks, turning ships into floating battlefields where swords clashed and blood soaked the planks. Antony's massive ships were deadly up close, but slow to turn. Agrippa exploited this relentlessly. Octavian's vessels darted in and out, striking, retreating. The surrounding isolated enemies. Smoke choked the air. Fires spread from ship to ship. The calm sea became a graveyard of wreckage and bodies. For hours, the outcome remained uncertain. Then came the moment that decided history. Cleopatra's fleet 60 ships strong-raced sails and broke formation. Instead of reinforcing Antony, they sailed directly through the battle and headed east toward Egypt. Whether this was a prearranged escape plan or a sudden decision born of fear remains debated. What is certain is the effect it had. Antony saw Cleopatra's ships leaving. In a moment that would define his legacy, he abandoned command. Boarding a small vessel, he followed her, leaving his fleet leaderless in the middle of battle. Confusion rippled through his forces. Some ships fought on desperately. Others surrendered. Many were destroyed. Octavian's victory was total. By nightfall, the sea belonged to him. Thousands of Antony's men were dead or captured. The survivors defected. Greece fell under Octavian's control without resistance. Actium was over, but its consequences were just beginning. Antony and Cleopatra fled to Egypt, hoping for one last chance. But their power was broken. In 30 BC, Octavian invaded Egypt. Antony, misled into believing Cleopatra was dead, fell on his sword. Cleopatra, refusing to be paraded through Rome as a trophy, took her own life. Legend says, by the bite of an asp, with their deaths, resistance ended. Octavian returned to Rome as the undisputed master of the Roman world. In 27 BC, the Senate granted him the title Augustus. The Republic still existed in name, But in truth, Rome had become an empire. Power no longer rested in assemblies or shared offices. It rested in one man. The Battle of Actium marked the end of an era. It ended centuries of republican government, the age of civil wars, and the old Roman ideal of shared power. In its place rose a new system, stable, centralized, and authoritarian. Augustus would rule wisely, ushering in the Pax Romana, a long period of relative peace and prosperity. But it came at a cost. Rome had chosen order over liberty. Actium is remembered not for its size, but for its significance. No single battle did more to shape the ancient world. From its outcome flowed emperors, legions, roads, laws, and a civilization that would dominate Europe and the Mediterranean for centuries. On that quiet stretch of sea in 31 BC, Rome did not just win a war. It chose what it would become.